So today we're going to react to Manifestel, the 50-50 debate stuff. You know, I reacted to her before. I thought it was some brain dead stuff, but my expectations are aligned now. So I know that she's pretty humorous or tries to be humorous, and I don't expect anything too real. So we'll still watch it because somebody requested that I watch more of her videos.
I am so done with the 50-50 debate discourse. Like, we don't need a debate, okay? We're done with the debates. We need a show and tell. And then let the girlies decide what lifestyle they want to live. The 50-50 men in a lot of these videos, they're not problem solvers. They catastrophize.
I can pack the stuff.
And they do nothing to solve the situation.
I don't really know, to be honest with you.
They leave it up to the woman to fix the situation.
Can you just do like overtime or something on the weekends?
And they show no concern as to why the woman cannot pay the rent or the mortgage.
I don't want to have to go back to work.
Do you see the pattern here? Like, there is a pattern. Hey bestie, welcome to the Spoiled Girlie Support Group podcast, where we talk about how to get that bag while also securing your own bag. I'm your host Elle, and let's get into it. On today's episode, we are talking about the telling my husband I can't pay the mortgage trend.
Boy, that is some nasty work. A lot of chicks are pure evil, man.
And what it reveals about the cultural zeitgeist we are in, as well as the realizations we're coming to as we analyze this trend. Because today, the revelations are revelationing. The telling my husband I can't pay the mortgage trend has been making the rounds on TikTok recently, and it's basically wives filming their husbands as they usually playfully tell them that they cannot pay the mortgage this month, knowing full well that the wife, the women who are filming their husbands, they have never in their married life have ever paid for the mortgage. So the husbands, after hearing the statement, they get really confused, and some of them offended that their wife would even think about paying the mortgage. So let's watch a couple of videos.
I won't be able to pay the mortgage this month.
You don't pay the mortgage any month.
I just want to let you know I can't pay the mortgage this month. I can't even help. Don't ask for nothing.
Baby.
What?
Baby, I pay the bills, son. Well, this house is taken care of. Don't worry about the mortgage.
I don't have enough money to pay our mortgage.
You will never have to worry about paying a mortgage. Not ever. The mortgage is paid.
I can't help pay the mortgage this month.
Oh, thank God you let me know that.
I cannot make the mortgage this month. I can't pay it.
You don't pay the mortgage. That's not a part of your responsibilities.
And as a spoiled girly, I approve. I love seeing women in equitable relationships. Like, love seeing that.
I love it.
To assume that the relationships are equitable just because you see one side, which is the men's side, paying the mortgage and stuff like that, you see them doing something good on a provider end, but you don't have any idea what the woman is doing in that relationship. You don't even know if they are in a sexless marriage. You don't have any idea. I think that highlights that a lot of women think they just have innate value, to where them just existing and being there means that, you were lucky to have me. It's just that solipsism, that arrogance, to where it's just like, I'm here, I am valuable, pay for my shit. And that's all. Like, I don't really have to live up to any expectations or do anything. A lot of women feel like that. And I feel like her using the word equitable when just seeing one guy on one end do something and we have no idea what types of women that these chicks are, I think it highlights that. I think it highlights what I mentioned.
And because of the popularity of the telling my husband I can't pay the mortgage trend, some creators wanted to be messy, and they said that, okay, now that we've seen the provider husbands do the trend, let's see the 50-50 girlies hop on this trend.
Now, where the 50-50 couples at? I want to see y'all joke about it. I want to see the prank done the right way. I want to see the real gritty reaction.
And so they did, and it did not end well.
I can't pay the rent this month.
Can you just do like overtime or something on the weekends?
You want me to work overtime on the weekends?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to have to go back to work.
Are you serious? You want me to work overtime on the weekends?
I'm not going to be able to pay the rent this month.
Well, I love you, but I don't even know who we pay our rent to. I don't really know. To be honest with you, I can pack the stuff.
Safe to say, like, that didn't go well. And also, born out of this trend is some provider women realizing that they actually don't enjoy being providers. Like this one creator who posted asking if she is a fool for paying 100% of a man's expenses.
I feel like I'm about to embarrass myself with this trend, but are none of the other girlies paying 100% of their partner's expenses? Am I the only fool out here on the internet? Let me know. So when we moved in together, the rent agreement was 70% from me because I earn more money and 30% from him. So that's how it first started, with the view that one day it would change. It never changed. Like after I fed this man for 6 months and he didn't literally contribute anything, not even like a roll of toilet paper to the house, I was like getting, mad and being like, you have to contribute, at least pay me half of the groceries. Like, you're a 40-year-old man, you have to pay for your own electricity. And then you all are out there pranking your husband and he's laughing at you about paying 50-50 or like not paying the mortgage that month. I'm an idiot.
So what's ironic about this, I just did a reaction to a Daily Wrap-Up Crew video where they were talking about interracial dating. And one of the things that was brought up is that men don't care about a woman's money. They don't care how much money a chick makes. They don't care if the chick has a degree. And chicks was giving so much pushback, and one was even confused about it, et cetera, because they really try to think that that's like something that a man values or needs, even if a guy says he doesn't. This is an example of why. Because she resents the man. She does not want to pay 100% of the bills, and her being on TikTok is causing resentment that this man is not even aware of. Now, this is the other thing that I tried to figure out. I tried to figure out if her dude was white. I could not find any solid proof because which is funny, she has like all this lifestyle stuff up on her Instagram and she's trying to sell courses and et cetera, et cetera. And she used to do like interviews with celebrities or whatever the case was. But she has a lot of pictures by herself. She doesn't have any trace of this guy on any of her social media. None. But judging by the pictures I've seen with her family and with other people and stuff like that, I think it's safe to assume, even in Australia, that she is with a white guy. And I'm just assuming Australia, but it's very funny because, again, like I said in that other video, Black women romanticize what white men are and just think they're just the ultimate providers and that their women never have to pay for nothing. They stay at home women all the time, every time. And that's just not the case. This proves it again, even though it's in Australia, still a first world country. But a woman's money doesn't mean shit to a guy. And one of the main reasons is because women begin to resent the guys. And this in turn makes them lose respect for the guy and disrespect him. And in this case, she went to the internet and talked about her guy like he'll just never see it, like he's not able to see it. And just now everybody is in your business. They know, if they know that's your girl, yeah, they all in your business now, dog, because she doesn't care.
Someone said,
at this point, I'd ask him to just move out. The 30% in rent he is paying you, you'll save in groceries and other bills. Protect your peace. This sounds miserable.
And then the creator of the video said,
seriously, and yeah, he's gone and I'm back to single and stress-free.
TikTok made her break up with her man. Nasty.
And I'm really glad that she recognized that that situation was not serving her. Like, it's not the life that she wants to live. And yeah, so she made the changes in her life to reflect that. Someone else said,
you are not a fool. You got programmed incorrectly, and now you learn the hard way. Be kind with yourself.
This. So I'm going to share my thoughts on the 50-50 girlies in a little bit, but I've gotten soft on them with age, I guess. And it is true that a lot of women have unfortunately been programmed to think that 50-50 makes them equal to a man, that it is at all equitable in relation to everything that they bring into a relationship with a man. Like, if you only knew how valuable you are, if you only knew how much you benefit him, like if you only knew that he wouldn't be with you if he didn't extract so much value from you.
And see, this is what I've been waiting for because she doesn't know these women. Keep that in mind.
If you only knew, okay? And that's why we end almost every single solitary class with telling you how you have so much inherent worth and value in a world that is hell-bent on devaluing you. Like, they wouldn't work so hard literally putting in overtime to make you doubt yourself if you doubting yourself wasn't prerequisite to them exploiting you. Like, if you only knew, okay? Someone said,
And see, I was right. I was right because she just tried to move on. I promise, even if I cut this video short, even if I get fed up, because she said at the end of every single solid that we gonna make it to the end of this video, even if I gotta cut to the end, because I want to hear what she has to say about this value. No substance. No substance. I already said they think it's just inherent. She said the word inherent. I might have said the word innate, but regardless, they just think they are valuable just for existing. Just for existing when there's way more women. For every guy, there's 3 women on the planet. What are we talking about?
He should be embarrassed, not you.
Yeah, like we always say this in the Spoiled Girlie support group. Like, that is so embarrassing for him, okay? Not for you, for him. Someone else said,
TikTok is really saving lives.
And honestly, yeah, it is. Someone said,
I feel this has been a huge wake-up call for a lot of us. I'm not currently in a relationship, and before this, I would have seen 50-50 as okay. But now I see how relaxed I could be in a better relationship.
Okay, so this comment is literally how I feel right now about the whole 50-50 debate. Like, I am so done with the 50-50 debate discourse. Like, we don't need a debate, okay? We're done with the debates. We need a show and tell. And then let the girlies decide what lifestyle they want to live. Because number one, you should not be debating your core values, especially with someone who is supposed to be your life partner. Like, the definition of a life partner is someone who shares your values and enriches your experience of life. So if they don't share your values and therefore will not enrich your experience of life, then they are not your partner.
But how are these women enriching the experience of these guys' lives?
Okay, so yeah, no more 50-50 debates. Like, if they don't share your values, he's not the one, okay? If you're spoiled girly and he's a 50-50 man, he's not the one. Like, he doesn't have to be a bad person or whatever. Like, you don't have to demonize him. He's just not the one, and that's okay. All right? So can we grow some backbone? Like, literally sit up straight and establish that certain things are simply non-negotiable, and that's okay. If a man ever debates you on your core values, like, they're not the one, okay? Like, I don't know how many times I have to say that. Anyway, I wanted to get into one of the bigger revelations in today's class.
The problem is not that these couples are 50-50. We understand. I understand. Times are hard. People got to pay bills together because, you know, the math ain't mathin' right. Things are very expensive. Problem with the 50-50 version is the reaction from the men.
Times are hard, okay? But the 50-50 men in a lot of these videos, they're not problem solvers. They catastrophize.
I can pack the stuff.
And they do nothing to solve the situation.
I don't really know, to be honest with you.
They leave it up to the woman to fix the situation.
Can you just do like overtime or something on the weekends?
And they show no concern as to why the woman cannot pay the rent or the mortgage.
I don't want to have to go back to work.
Do you see the pattern here? Like, there is a pattern.
Yo, fam, you keep showing the same 2 clips of the same 2 guys with the same aesthetic. Like, they even look like the same person. They even look like the same person. I'm typically not mad at generalizations. And even then, you know, I don't know what she has seen. She could have seen more to be able to make these generalizations outside of these 2 videos. She just didn't include them. She might have a lot more experience with this. I don't know. But I don't think those two guys right there are the base to make generalizations off of. I'll give you another reason why. We don't know if they have kids with these women. I know a lot of dudes who they say their life changed when they held their kid and they seen their kid for the first time, et cetera, and they just knew that they had to get it by any means for their kids. For their kids. And I've seen dudes with a lot of hustle do a lot. I've seen dudes make very risky decisions. Risky decisions to put that food on the table to keep that rent paid. But we're not talking about kids. So I'll be fair in that regard. We're talking about guys, as far as men, in 50-50 relationships with women, and as far as this conversation, is typically about husbands and wives. Now, this is the thing about this. Like, when she talks about problem solving, these guys are asked, because remember, they made an agreement to go 50-50, right? That is the understanding. That is the agreement. That is what she came into the relationship under, knowing that air quote times are hard. Something she and another woman has admitted in this video, right? If she is not living up to her side of the bargain, him trying to see what she can do is a part of problem solving, because at the end of the day, she is not living up to her end of the agreement. She is not living up to her responsibility. And I know this is some shit the women hate to hear, because they want the soft life that they see on fucking Instagram that doesn't exist for you, bitch. It doesn't exist for you. That's how come you're not living it. Social media really got your heads fucked up. But that's responsibility in the adult world. In the adult world. So what women want, this is what they want. And this is what problem solving looks like to her. What they want is a guy to say, you know what? Just forget about it this month. I got it. That's problem solving. If you just say that, that's problem solving. Or, you know what? I'm going to pick up your end of the slack. You know, you don't even got to worry about paying that back next month or nothing like that. I'm going to see what I can do to make this work. That's what they want. That is problem solving. Asking, well, can you work overtime? No, that's it. Can you work harder to get your end of the bargain? No, that's too much. And this is how come, I say a lot. I do a lot of videos about broke dudes getting chicks. Because at the end of the day, the chick that you see on the screen, the other chick, the older chick that you seen talking on the screen, all these chicks that you see, bruh, they all have been in love with the guy or have had sex with the guy who had virtually nothing or didn't give them virtually anything. So that is why I always highlight shit about broke men, because when it comes to having sex, that is one of the primary things that we want. And I'm trying to let you know that you, in some cases, don't have to have money to get it. And even if you do have to have money to get it, the chick that you were getting it from, you should understand that she is giving it up to somebody else for free in the past. She just don't like you like that, or she is at a different place in her life. But I have to let you know that about broke dudes on a regular basis, because that's the reality outside. And then you'll see these same chicks who are getting piped by broke dudes who are taking the styrofoam from the date that you took her on, the TGIF Fridays or the Chop House or whatever. They taking that styrofoam with the steak and corn and taking it back to Ron Quail house after you go home, after you done paid for that $200 date, because they not accepting nothing less than a $200 date, because that's what they project on social media. She's going back to Ron Quail's house, who has never spent nothing on her, smoking weed with her. He's eating the leftovers, and he is cranking the fuck out of that ass. He is beating the shit out of that cat. So I just need you to know that. So now that we have driven that point home overly, when we're talking about an actual committed relationship, it's a bit different. It's a bit different. I would recommend being in a power position to where you are the provider and you do not have to really rely on her too much for the finances. That's just me being honest. Because now we just seen a chick who began to resent her dude because of what she's seen on TikTok, and also just left him. Just left him. I do feel like if the woman is working, she should be paying something. That is just me. I do not think that I'm going to go and make all the money and you just going to be making money as well, and you not spending money on nothing towards us. That is complete bullshit. But I don't want to drag it because we got more video to go. I just think these guys are not the best example to generalize off of.
even here in the Spoiled Girlie support group, whenever we bring up a pattern, we are recognizing it is always
not all men. You're generalizing. There's good men out there.
Or in your daily life, when you bring up a pattern of their behavior that you don't agree with, it's
I don't always do that. I guess I'm just a piece of shit who can't do anything right.
okay, these who have never faced a generalization in their life are so insidious, okay? Like the bean soup people.
What about me? What about this hyper-specific condition, situation that only applies to me?
Like, shut up, okay?
Fast forward again, because this is some bullshit. And when it comes to generalizations, I do a lot of generalizations, and I can accept generalizations if I think they are accurate. I don't even have too much of a problem with the generalization that she made, other than, I'm looking at two guys, and I hope that the assessment that she made for that generalization isn't off two guys. And even then, I fleshed out my thoughts about why I don't agree with her generalization.
This TikTok video talking about how times are rough and two incomes are needed nowadays to make it work. And I get that. Like, I am telling you, I'm getting soft with age, okay? And it's only been a couple months, okay? So let me read you this quote. The most oppressed man finds a being to oppress, his wife. She is the proletarian of the proletarian. So I get it. Times are rough. You need two incomes to make a household work. Like, sure. Okay, that's the reality for a lot of people. But why is it that when times are rough, women's lives get rougher relative to a man's? Times are rough, so women, on top of doing majority of the domestic labor and 100% of the biological labor, also now have to financially contribute.
There are a lot of husbands who fold clothes and wash dishes. So I don't know what she's talking about. This 100% of the labor. I don't like, as far as domestic labor, I don't know what she is talking about. There are guys who cook. Bro, I know husband, like my uncle cook. Like, I see too much of this. Like, just this whole 100%, like, fuck out of here. Like, and I'm not saying that just off my person. I've seen it all over the internet. I've seen it all over the internet. So just thinking that, and even then, I'm gonna just keep it a bean with you. A lot of these chicks is lazy, bro. A lot of these chicks now is lazy. A lot of these chicks ain't built to be homemakers. Some of them even be becoming wives. That's the crazier part. She is making a lot of bullshit assumptions when it comes to these situations.
It doesn't sound like an equitable deal for women. Okay, it never was and it still isn't. Okay, it never was. Now, I don't identify as a socialist, but in the Spoiled Girlie support group, we pick and choose. And it's interesting that in 1896, Eleanor Marx, Karl Marx's daughter, the woman, under a capitalist regime, is a double proletarian. She has two kinds of work to do: the work of a producer in the factory and the work of a housekeeper, wife, and mother in the home. On one hand, her muscles and blood are spent for the immediate profit of the capitalist, and on the other, for his future profit, in bearing and feeding up a new generation of proletarians. And that was in 1896. 100+ years later, we still haven't figured it out. Like, life has always been tough. Times have always been rough, okay? And it is so funny that the delicate creatures always have to be tougher when times are tough. Okay, like, no, we are done. Like, times are tough. Okay, wow, that's crazy. Like, sounds like some things need to change around here for times to no longer be rough. Okay, like, what a concept.
And see, this is just a very ironic video to me, because for somebody who has a lot of criticism as far as men not being problem solvers, and for her to be somebody that's reacting to this content and telling women how to move and stuff, like, she doesn't have anything to solve this problem. She doesn't have a solution. That right there, all the stuff that you just seen, is kid talking. I could go deep, because she's talking about times are always tough. Right now, it's not Great Depression tough. And even in the Great Depression, guess what you seen? You seen a bunch of pictures of guys out looking for jobs. That's how come that Karl Marx shit with her daughter talking that shit. I don't ever remember a big, like back then, a big chunk of women being in the factories and shit like that. I know during World War II, they really stepped into the workforce and shit like that. But as far as 1890, whatever, I didn't hear, oh man, a lot of wives are going and working in the factory. I didn't hear that. Now, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but do you think that it was a tremendous abundance of women? Do you think it was a majority of women? Listen, I would love to keep talking, but we got to get to the meat and potatoes as far as what the value of these women is to her.
Like, anyway, if you're new to the Spoiled Girly support group and are worried about being financially dependent on a man when being with a provider man, let's do a refresher on the Spoiled Girly money formula because I feel like a lot of the girlies are new here and we need a refresher, okay? So, number one, always have your own money, education, skills, and marketable experience. Always be market ready.
This is an extremely ironic point because we're talking about women not being able to pay the mortgage and it being a problem that the guy is not stepping up to pay the mortgage. So what are you getting this money for if you're not going to be going 50-50? Like what is the point in teaching these chicks to be educated and have their own money and et cetera, if they don't plan to use it in the fucking relationship, and when they're not able to pay, the guy is supposed to step up and problem solve and say, baby, you don't got to spend shit on shit. What is the point in telling chicks that? I don't. Yeah. Be ready to earn some money so that you could not use it.
And number two, at the very least, okay, especially when you're the non-working spouse, your husband has to invest at least $500 a month in a spousal IRA. And if you as a couple make more than the limit to be able to contribute to a Roth IRA, talk to your advisor about setting up a spousal gift trust. This will be your retirement account as the non-working spouse. And number three, be heavily involved in the family finances. Like, honestly, you need to be the main money manager, if at all possible.
Men, I implore you to not fall for this trap. I'm advising you right now, don't fall for this trap. That whole women manage money better than men shit, they're the number one consumers. They got all the credit card debt. Don't do it. Don't do it. And it's not even because of that. I'm just telling you that narrative is fake. But listen, I seen Opie and Anthony talking, and him and his wife, I think he went to her. I can't remember how it went. But they had a conversation, and it basically said, you know what? Yeah, I think we're done. I think it's time to get divorced. Okay. He went and took a trip to the bank. She had already made her move. She already flushed the account. So when you give her access to your shit, when you sharing your account and she got all the access to it, she able to do X, Y, Z. When it comes time to bust a move, she gonna bust a fucking move, dog. And it's gonna be to your detriment. Don't do it.
Like, you need to have access and custody of all accounts. And if you don't know how to do that, literally as an adult, you don't know how to pay bills and move money into savings accounts, okay? Like, I'm gonna be really strict with you here, okay? You need to learn how to do that, okay? Learn how to invest. Like, please, please, please secure your own bag, okay? The spoiled girly way of life only works if you do all of that, okay? Otherwise, it's trad wifery. And you know what we say about the trad wife lifestyle? It's indentured servitude. Bestie, wake up.
Fam, I'm so upset because we made it all this way, and I thought, because she said at the end of every episode we did. I thought she was going to talk to us about the inherent value that these women have. That's what I thought. She didn't talk about shit. She just told women to bruh, put your hand in this motherfucker's pockets. That's what she told the women. Put your hand in his pocket. If your hand ain't in his pocket, make sure your hand is in his pocket. That's all she told these chicks. Now, listen, I'm not no dude that's just, because I understand like a lot of y'all be wanting to hear certain shit. I'm not no dude that is just gonna hate on women and just be like, bro, they don't have no value. They just worthless. They useless. No. If you get the right woman, she can truly enhance your life. If you get the right woman who has the right stuff going on, she got the right mindset, she is willing to be your peace, she is not chaotic, etc., etc. She is willing to support you. She is willing to give you that warmth. She is kind, all this stuff. Like, if you get a woman that is like that, which I'm telling you, that shit is really hard for these women to do. It's really hard for a lot of these chicks to be warm, kind, supportive, submissive. It's tremendous. It's a that shit is like lifting a ton to these women. Like something that weighs a ton, it's like lifting a ton to these women. So if you could find a chick that could do this basic shit and basically enhance your life through those features, like that is great. That is great. Hold on to that woman as long as you can, possibly even over long term. If you have vetted her and everything checks out and everything is good, possibly had kids with her, possibly built with her, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, when it comes to women, they can have some value outside of their coochie. But the level of arrogance you have to think that you are just valuable just because you are here, just because you exist, that is insane to me. That is absolutely insane. And on that note, I'm done for today with this. I really thought I was going to get more than this, but I guess we got 30 minutes of footage. So it is what it is. And I knew that I'm not going to lie. I'll say this, though. I'll say this because I did a video on her before and I thought it was pure bullshit. I think she made better points and made a better attempt at putting the argument forward in this one. But you've seen the criticism I made over this 30 minutes. So, it pretty much fell flat, if I'm being honest. But with that being said, it was some substance in this one. I'll just give you that. With that being said, I'm done. I'll catch y'all later.